welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video. This week I am doing a video request. I received a request to do a video on ideas for using the 10x10cm paper pads. So I'm going to use these Paper Addicts 10x10cm ones. I've only got 4 of them, but I'm sure I can come up with a fair few ideas just with these. And I know a lot of you have been picking up these 10x10cm paper pads, especially the Paper Addicts ones. They were on Every Craft's a Pound, and I saw lots and lots of hauls featuring these. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. A couple of ideas to use these. Not the really obvious ones, don't worry, because obviously these are really great for both photo matting in your layouts if you're using obviously slightly smaller photos, and for doing die cutting as well. They're flipping perfect for that, but there are lots of other things you can do too. So I'm going to start off making a couple of cards and then hopefully make a couple of embellishments as well, little handmade embellishments that you can put in your stash and then bring into your other projects. So yeah, let's get going. I'll put you on speed up. Okay then, so I'm going to start off making 4, I think, Christmas cards, partly because that's 2 of the paper pads that I have, but also it's that time of year. But obviously any of the techniques and stuff or the designs I use here can be applied to any time of year, any kind of card or whatever. And with all of these, I'm going to go for a grid effect in different ways. So for this first one where I'm using It's Cold Outside, I am going to cut 12 1-inch squares, or are they 1.5 inch? They're 1.5 inch, my bad, with 6 different patterns. You could, of course, use 12 different patterns if you wanted them all different, but I wanted 2 of each. And then I'm just going to kind of go through those and arrange them on the card in a way where I know, like, not the same pattern is next to each other kind of thing, and the colours are more mixed up and stuff. You could, if you wanted to, if you're really funny about things being exact, measure the gaps between each of, like, the little grids or the patchwork or whatever, but I'm not that fussy, so I'm just eyeballing it. I am using Pritt Stick to put mine down. A wet glue is best for this because then you've got a second or 2 just to adjust it. If you put it down wrong, if you put it down with double-sided tape, you don't really get that adjustment period. But yes, there is the first sort of patchwork effect going down there, and then I'm just going to embellish that just with a couple little bits and pieces. I'm going to use, what's it called? Let It Snow from the Love to Craft range from Poundland, just using a couple of these little tags. There's the Merry Christmas one and the stag and some of the adhesive pearls as well. Oh, and I'm also going to go around some of the squares with a Nuvo silver glitter marker. You could go around all the squares, but I thought it looked better on mine personally, just doing every other one. Doing like a rough doodly kind of border around them with like a silver gel pen would work as well, or just leaving them blank. I just wanted that extra little bit of sparkle and shine. But yes, just attaching those tags there. I am going to put an adhesive pearl on the stag's butt because that's where like the tag hole is for that tag, and I just wanted to kind of cover up the fact that it was a tag kind of thing. So yeah, just going to add a few of these little pearls here and there to, yeah, add little bits of happy sparkly happiness kind of thing. You know, I love my, you know, enamel dots and adhesive pearls, and I usually go overboard with them. I think I just stuck with 5 or 6 on this one. Yes, I did. So card number 1 finished. Now with that same design, if you want to go a little bit extra, you could put your little patchwork bits down and just adhere them in the very, very center and then stitch around each one. If you're going to do that, you need to do it on a separate piece of paper than to put down onto your card blank, because you don't want to see the reverse of the stitching on the inside of your card, obviously, because it's not very attractive to look at. I do my stitching kind of really rough. I like that kind of rustic effect kind of thing. You could use a sewing machine, obviously, if you have one, or you can like measure out and do your stitching holes like exactly 5mm or 1/4 of an inch apart or whatever. But as I said, I do it kind of rough because I like that look. And I'm just finishing off with a couple of embellishments from Dovecraft Little Red Robin, and also those pearls are also one of the Love to Craft ones, but I forget, it's the other Christmas one this year, whatever it is. So yeah, just a couple of embellishments there. Obviously there's a sentiment topper on the top, and then that card is pretty much finished. Obviously the stitching took a while. It took about half an hour, 40 minutes, I'm going to say, but I do like the effect that it comes out with, and I think it really matches that traditional Christmas look on the Yuletide Wishes pad. Now another patchwork one. This is the same kind of thing as the first one, except I'm doing 2 layers. So I've got one square at 1 3/8 and the larger one at 1 5/8, I'm gonna say, and obviously backed those on top of each other, trying to make sure, you know, there was none of the same pattern or colour on every single square, and then put them down. All of those have gone down with foam squares just to make them pop a little bit. And again, I'm just finishing with some really simple embellishments. That tag is again from the Love to Craft. These stickers I'm putting down here, I have backed them with some scraps from the Paper Addicts pad just to help them pop a little bit. It says something like, "'Tis the season to be jolly," and then fa la 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 la, because then, you know, obviously those two stickers go together. And then again, Calcipri is finishing with my adhesive pearls, because adhesive pearls and gems are just the best thing in the whole world. And I've put an eyelet through that tag and some silver twine, and I'm just going to put that down there. It kind of looks like a bauble now, don't you think? And that's going down there. And then one more patchwork effect one. This one is a bit different. It's more of a grid kind of, I don't know, but basically what I have done is taken 6 papers from Yuletide Wishes. I've cut them to just under 2 inches wide and just under 1.5 inch wide. The measurements don't really matter, just do a big one and one that's about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch smaller, keeping the same length, so they're all 10 centimeters, except the smaller one is about 1/4 inch off. So just created those 3 little pieces there. I'm going to attach them to my card blank like so. So you've just got those 3 panels. Panels was the word I was looking for earlier. There we go. So yeah, just attaching those down there like that. And then obviously there's a big gap at the bottom of the card blank there. Now you could put like a long strip down there or something. You could leave it blank and put your sentiment down there. I decided just to chop it off and then just have a slightly different size card from usual, because most of mine, let's be honest, are 5x7 or 6x6, because I'm lazy and I like to use my pre-made card blanks. But yeah, for my sentiment, I'm just going to take another 2 pieces from the paper pad and back them like that, taking that little sentiment that says Merry Christmas, backing it onto some gold glitter paper, because, you know, helps it pop a little bit. That little stag was in my, I've got that pot there where I have all my glitter scraps, because they're helpful to have around for doing punching and stuff. And he was in there. I'm fairly sure he is from Festive Wonder, the die set from that collection, which is Trimcraft. I have punched a couple of little 1 centimeter stars, and I'm just going to add those on there with glue dots. And then here come the pearls. One day I will make a card or a layout that doesn't have pearls or gems or Nouveau drops on it. But you know what? It is not this day. And I did end up putting quite a lot on here. I get carried away. I can't help it. But yes, once all my pearls are down on that one, that I think is my last Christmas one. So I'm just showing you those there, all with different kinds of grid and panel patterns and stuff like that. And now I'm going to do some stuff with the other 2 pads, the non-Christmas ones. So I'm going to start with Paper Addicts Pawsome, and with this I've gone through some of my stamp collection and chosen a couple of ones that I like and ones I think will work with the Pawsome and Let's Flamingo paper pads, and I'm just going to stamp and emboss various things and then fussy cut them. So first I've gone with the cats for Pawsome, because obviously if you don't have the equipment for doing embossing, then just stamping it and then cutting it obviously would be completely fine. I like to emboss because I just like that extra bit of texture, but as I said, if you don't have the equipment for that, then just normal stamping obviously would be fine. Although if embossing is something you're interested in, because I have been asked this before, like, where do I start? After Christmas, there's almost always sales on heat guns and embossing things, especially at Hobbycraft and the range and stuff. So look out if that's something you want to get into. I know most of you have the equipment for this, and you're all going, yeah, I know how to do this. Will you move on? But just for those that don't know, there you go, information. So also stamped this little letter shape and fussy cut that. Then I'm going to stamp some little tags and like that little scalloped circle-y thing. Those are from, not the range, the works they're from. Great little stamps those. I really, really like those. And again, just fussy cutting out a bunch of these. And with the tags, it's not really fussy cutting as such, is it? Because it's not exactly that complex. But yes, once those are all done, I'm going to use all these little bits and bobs to make some of my own little embellishments. So I've got some of my favourite paper punches out, just my 3-inch heart, my 2-inch circle, my 2-inch scalloped heart and my 1-inch heart, and just sort of punching out various things and layering up all these little elements I've created. As I said, just making little embellishments that I will use for cards, for layouts. I often send things like this in Happy Mail, just as little bits and bobs, put them in the front of letters, just so many uses for all these kind of things. But it's so handy to have like some of them pre-made like this, and these paper pads are obviously really, really good for that. I'm also adding some Tim Holtz word ones. I can't remember the name of that pack. It's Chit Chat, but it's the extra large words, if you know what I mean. Like, they're quite chunky ones. So yeah, just adding those on there. Unfortunately there was no like pet words, so if I had something like purr, I would have put that, but I just had to choose random other ones instead. So yeah, I just keep punching stuff and layering it up, adding little hearts and bits and pieces like that, just to make all these lovely little embellishments around this one. Around a lot of them, actually, I end up adding like little stitch borders or rough borders, doodled borders, that kind of thing. On the darker papers where I want to add that, I'm going to use a white gel pen to do that so it stands out nicely. And yeah, there we go, just adding those all together. Some of them I've stapled on, so they, you know, sometimes, I don't know what it is about a staple on handmade embellishments. Sometimes it just looks nice, don't you think? And it's weird because staples are not the most attractive thing. Anyway, I'm having a slight train of thought going off on one moment there. On this little one with the little tag, I just wanted to add an eyelet because I thought it would be cute. And obviously those are teeny tiny tags and they look cute with a little eyelet in them. Here I'm doing, as I said, I did adding one of my little borders with a white gel pen. I think that looks quite nice. I thought I was finished, except this round one here desperately needed something behind it. So I've just cut a little banner here with another scrap of paper and I'm putting it behind that circle like that. And I think that is it for all my little embellishments. Oh, there you go. I am showing you them there. I think in the pictures they might be ever so slightly different because I altered the borders a bit, but you'll see those at the end. So I'm going to finish off here with a couple of cards with Let's Flamingle. Those little flowers and leaves I've created there are the same thing I did with the paws and prints, is I've stamped, embossed and fussy cut those, and yeah, I'm just going to create a couple of cards. The reason I'm doing cards is just because they're nice and quick to show you, but obviously all the techniques and ideas and stuff can be applied to all of the things: scrapbooking, journaling, Happy Mail, you know, all of the things. As I said, it's just cards are the quickest thing to show you. So I wanted to add a banner on this card, but obviously when the paper pads are only 10 centimeters wide, you can't make a very big banner. But if you cut 2 pieces, and those are about 1 inch deep, if you just layer them over each other like that, then it looks like it's just one piece, and as long as there's something over the join, then it doesn't matter, nobody knows. So that's what I've done with that little banner there, and cut little fishtail ends there. And I'm just going to glue on all those little fussy cut pieces I did. If you can't see the flowers very well, it's because I embossed them with like this clear, glittery, holographic embossing powder. It works very well in real life, but I don't know how well it's going to show up on camera. I am just going to finish with this little sentiment up the top there, and then that card, very simple, very quick, is done. Oh, no, it's not. Add a dashed border, of course, because I'm either going to add pearls or I'm going to add a dashed border. There's no other option. But yes, once that dash border is done, we will be on our final little project. So this is kind of like what's the card equivalent of a scrap lift? A card lift? I don't know, but it's me basically following an idea of a card I made, got to be a year ago now, that was really, really popular for some reason, even though it was one of the simplest cards I've ever made. It wasn't on YouTube, by the way, in case you're going, I don't remember this. But all I did was punch a load of circles from various papers, 2-inch ones and 1-inch ones. I'm going to do the same with these little bits of paper here that I've cut. I'm going to do the same thing I did on the previous card and sort of overlap them to make a faux long banner thing. And as I said, cover up where the join is. I've cut one at just under 1 inch and one at just over 1 inch kind of thing. I really like that paper there, the green one that looks like the leaves. It's so pretty. Anyway, that's irrelevant. But yeah, putting those on there, and then I'm just going to stick down my circles really in just a random little pattern. And yeah, if I find a picture of the original card I'm talking about, I will try and put it in the end. But yeah, it's just one of those really, really simple things that takes 5 minutes but looks really, really nice. So yes, different circles going on there. I'm trying to make sure like I've got an even-ish amount of small ones to big ones, and just making sure the patterns don't overlap and that kind of thing. But other than that, it's just a case of sticking them down, really. So obviously putting a circle where I've done the join on the thing there to cover the little join up, because ain't nobody want to see that. And once that is down, I'm going to add a sentiment. No, I'm going to add another circle. Once the rest of the circles are down, I will add another sentiment onto the card and it will be done. So yes, there you go. There is a handful of ideas for using the 10x10cm paper pads from Paper Addicts. Now, obviously, this is not an exclusive list. There's lots and lots of other things you can do with them. But as I said, I got a video request. I thought I'd just give you a couple of ideas maybe to get you started for anyone who might be struggling with what to do with them. As I was saying, there's also die cutting, photo backing, so many things. Feel free to leave your ideas in the comments and see if, you might inspire some other people as well. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. As always, I will leave links to where you can get these from. I'll leave like a choice of links if you prefer to shop at Amazon or Hobbycraft, whatever your preference. The range, I think, don't do them online. They do them in store only, so I probably won't have that link. But yeah, okay, there we go. I think I'm finished. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments, and I think it is time for me to go. Okay, thank you so much again. Bye-bye.